Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be trying to mix whiskey and honey into my hot tea, and then after that, I'm going to be trying to drink it. How will this experience be? How will this mixed drink that I'm going to be making for the very first time today actually be? I don't know, but I hope it's going to be pretty good because it sounds pretty good in my head. The mixture of whiskey, honey, and hot tea sounds really good to me. But will it actually be any good? I don't know, but I certainly do hope so. And overall, I am very excited for this experience today, not just because I want some hot tea with some honey and some whiskey, but also just because I want some alcohol. Yeah, I just want some alcohol today, and I want to try a new alcoholic drink. And since it is a bit chilly today, I want a hot alcoholic drink that I've never had before. It's really as simple as that, in all honesty. I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and quickly cover exactly what I'm going to be using for making this drink today. So what whiskey do I have with me today? Well, I have some Evan Williams Bottled & Bond Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey with me today. This is the alcohol that I'm going to be using during this video. As far as my honey goes, I have some Gunter's Pure Honey Clover or Pure Clover Honey. This is the honey I'm going to be using for my drink today. And as far as my tea goes, I have some Republic of Tea Earl Greyer, which is a fantastic Earl Grey tea in my personal opinion. And I think the bergamot in the Earl Grey will combine pretty well with the flavor of the honey and will combine pretty well with the flavor of the whiskey that I have with me today as well. Hence why I chose this tea right here. Of course, though, it's not just those three ingredients that I have with me today. I've decided I want to make my tea outside on video today. As such, I have a Coleman cooking stove with me today, along with a little bit of butane as my fuel. And I also have a little bit of a pan to put some water in. And then, of course, speaking of water, I have all of my water in my Nalgene water bottle right here. And then, of course, I've also got my mug that I'm going to be using to put my tea in. And I've got some spoons for the tea bag and whatnot. And yeah, that's everything I have with me today to make my mixed drink with. So I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and get to it now, shouldn't I? It's a bit chilly out here. I want my hot drink and I want my alcohol to warm me up a little bit more so than not. So I should probably go ahead and actually get to making my drink now, shouldn't I? So let's go ahead and put my camera back all the way over here. How do I want to do it? Just like that, I think, is probably how I want to do it. And I'm thinking this position. Are we thinking this is good? Let's go like that just a little bit. Bring it forward just a little bit more. Let's try something like that. I can always readjust the camera if I absolutely need to. I'm going to go ahead and move some of the stuff just kind of to the side just a little bit just to kind of get it out of my way for the time being. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my Coleman stove and hope that I don't open the box upside down. Let's see if that happens. I did not open the box upside down. Very nice, very nice. This is my Coleman stove right here. I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box. And we can see the fluid just goes in right there. I'm going to close up my box and put that down on the ground. And let's see. I think I'm going to put this down just a little bit more. And I'm going to put this right around. Oh, how do I want to do this? I want this to be positioned nicely for the camera and everything like that kind of thing. Of course, I think I'll go with something like that. I'll go with something like this kind of thing. I think that'll be about right. Let's go ahead and put my butane in. Just hit the pan by accident. I'm going to go and put my butane in just like that. Just got to take the cap off. And how do I get this in? So it's unlocked right now. I've just got to put it in just like that. Easy peasy. Went right in. And let's go ahead, lock it, and let's go ahead, smell it, a little bit of butane. Let's go ahead and hope it doesn't explode. Let's give it a go. Ooh, started right up. No complaints. There we go, y'all. Let's go and turn that back off. And let's go ahead and pour some water in my little pan I have right here. And this is a big mug, so just to be safe, I am gonna pour this pan like completely full. and I'm gonna try to get it boiling. I'm gonna try to get all the water in the pan boiling. I think that should be hopefully enough water. I've got just a little bit of water. I used up over half my water bottle, so I'm hoping that's enough. We will find out, but let's go ahead, get this going. Oh, there we go. And I'm just gonna put it on full blast. Full blast is what we're going for. That is what we're doing today. So yes, it is on full blast, and we're gonna go ahead and try to get this water going and boiling. That is the plan. That is the plan pretty much. I will acknowledge. I'm just gonna put this over here. And now I've got to think about, okay, how do I want to steep my tea? So this is a question that I was trying to think in my head before the video. How do I want to actually steep my tea? Do I want to do it with the whiskey already in it, or do I want to add the whiskey and honey in afterwards? Like normally when you add like milk to tea and stuff like that kind of thing and honey to tea, you steep it first and then you add the stuff afterwards, right? So I'm thinking that's probably what I want to do today as well. I'm thinking I'm gonna get the water boiling, steep my tea for around about 3 to 4 minutes, and then after that, I'm gonna go and add the honey and add the whiskey and then kind of stir it all together with the spoons I have with me today. That's kind of my general plan, I think at least. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to steep it with the whiskey in it, but then I was like, I don't know if that's really gonna be all that good. And yeah, I do think I am gonna go with the first option that I mentioned, which was just adding the whiskey in afterwards. I do think that's going to be the better option, I will acknowledge. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to go for. We probably have some time, though. This is probably going to take a minute, although it is already starting to steam. Maybe not as much time as I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and just start getting everything prepared. I'm going to go and take out one of my tea bags, and I'm just going to kind of put it on the side right there. And actually, that's probably a bad idea. It might catch on fire right there. So let's actually not do that. Let's not do that. I'm just going to put that in my cup for the moment. That is right here. And just in case the wind picks up or anything like that, I'm going to go and put this in the side of my backpack just so I don't lose that cap to my butane container. That would not be very good. It's starting to steam just a little bit. I'm feeling some heat coming off of this. That's really nice. It's about 44 degrees out here right now. It's not super cold by any means, but it is nice to have a little bit of heat when it is a bit chilly, and it definitely is a little bit chilly today, but not too bad by any means. And overall, you know, it's a nice day. Really calm, really chill. There's a little bit of wind a little bit earlier, but seems to have calmed down for this moment in time. And man, overall, I'm dressed for the weather. I'm dressed for it. I am wearing a couple layers, got some thermals on and stuff like that. So, excuse me, I am all good. I am all good. Starting to see some bubbles though. And it doesn't seem to be boiling quite yet. I'm gonna let the bubble. I'm gonna let it actually boil before I do anything. But yep, nope. Seems to be warming up just fine. Can't complain. Can't complain. You know, making tea outside on a cold day like today. That's what I call a big ball of move, you know what I'm saying? That's what I call a big ball of move. We're getting some very small bubbles starting to come up. I don't think it's quite hot enough yet, but we are seeing some steam coming through. So we are all good in that regard, but not fully all good quite yet because I want it to actually get warm. I don't know how warm it actually is right now, and I'm not willing to stick my finger in it. I'm not willing to do that. Honestly, a little portable thermometer might be a good idea because honestly, kind of just like making tea outside, I don't know, it's just like the vibe. Honestly, it's just kind of like the vibe. So yeah, it is looking like it's starting to boil though. Okay, I'm just running it on full heat. It's just absolutely just going full heat, full flame, everything kind of thing, but it's working. And I wouldn't say it's like truly boiling yet, but it's getting there. It's taking some time. That's all right. It ain't no biggie. I give it another 30 seconds to a minute and we'll be all good though. I hope my mug doesn't shatter. I got the E mug with me today. E. I was like, I want the E mug for this video today because E is funny. And yeah, I would have to say it's starting to lightly boil now. So I'm going to go ahead I'm gonna take the spoons out of that. I'm gonna grab my paper towel that I also have with me today, and I'm gonna put them down on the paper towel. I'm gonna grab the tea bag, and yes, it is starting to boil now. Perfect. There we go. All right, tea bag is out of the mug. Let's go and turn it off. And it's not too warm for me to grab. And let's go ahead and pour this in, not over this. Let's have that down on the ground. I probably added a little bit too much water because I forgot that I'm adding whiskey and honey as well, but it's okay. It ain't no biggie. Let's go and add my tea bag, and let's go ahead and get this steeping. So I'm just gonna go and add it in just like that kind of thing, get that going. I'm gonna put one of my spoons in, kind of just swish it around. What time is it right now? It is currently 5:51, so almost 5:52, so I'm gonna wait until around about 5:55, and I think it will be fully steeped by that time. And then at that point, I will add my honey, and then I will add my whiskey, which I'm gonna go ahead and get, I think, a thumbnail with. Do we want to go ahead and grab a thumbnail right now? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go ahead and grab myself a little bit of a thumbnail. How do I want to do this? How do I want to grab a little bit of a thumbnail? I think I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to try to go like that. E. I'm just gonna grab a thumbnail while it's steeping. I feel like that's a good idea. Be productive, get that done while it's doing its own thing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's really heavy on both my hands though. All right, hopefully one of those will do. We will find out. I could always grab another one a little bit later if absolutely necessary. No complaints on my behalf. And my tea, still steeping just fine. Still steeping just fine. It's currently 53. We got like 2 more minutes. Yeah, really, the most painful part of this entire experience so far has just been waiting. It's just been waiting. I want my alcohol. I want my tea. I want my hot tea with whiskey and honey. That's what I want. I'm basically just making a tea hot toddy today. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that's basically just what this is, isn't it? Because you add lemon to a hot toddy, and like Earl Grey, because I'm using Earl Grey today, has sort of a lemon-ish flavor, like honey lemon-ish flavor due to the bergamot, and you add a little bit of honey to a hot toddy, and then you use whiskey. I'm basically just making a tea hot toddy today, I guess is really the technical terminology now, isn't it? But yeah, I ain't complaining. Overall, this stove worked pretty good. Got everything going pretty quickly. It's currently now 54. We've got 1 more minute of steeping time left. How much whiskey and how much honey do I want to add? I don't know. I don't know how much of each I want to add. That is the question. That's kind of the question that I'm trying to figure out now, and I don't know how much of each I want to add. I don't know. Either way, we'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna go for a little bit less than maybe I think I should add, because I don't know how intensely the whiskey is gonna come across in the tea. I think really with this experience, we're gonna be relying a lot on the honey kind of covering up the flavor of the liquor a little bit more so than not, because tea, of course, is a very mild flavor. But who knows? It's currently 54:49, just a couple more seconds left on steeping time. I think we've roundabout hit 3 minutes, but I'll let it go a little bit over kind of thing. Better safe than sorry. I'd much rather have a good, nice, freshly steeped cup of tea that is absolutely perfect than one that is not by any means. Although I certainly don't want to steep it for long enough where it tastes burnt. Yeah, burnt tea. Tea that tastes burnt is not it, I will acknowledge. I don't like that type of tea. But yeah, no, it's now 5:55. So let's go ahead and take the tea bag out, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get everything out of it. Just like that kind of thing. Just like that. I feel like there's probably a better way to do this, but I've noticed my tea tastes better when I do this, so this is what I tend to do with my tea. My paper towel is trying to run away. Don't worry about that. And let's go ahead and put that down. And I'm gonna go and add in, I think, my whiskey first. I'm gonna go and add in my whiskey first. And yeah, we've got, since some of the tea kind of evaporated off because it's warm, we've lost a little bit of stuff in the cup, but let's just add a little bit more. I'm gonna go with that for the moment. And I can always add more if I want to, but I'm gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna now add some honey, which this bottle is very sticky and this is stuck down. Yeah, this bottle is actually very sticky. What a surprise is honey. And let's get a good amount of honey in there. I think that'll do. Not too much of anything. And let's go ahead and mix it up. Let's go and mix it up. I'm gonna use one of the spoons. And this is now very full. Let's mix it up just like that, just like that. All right. Hopefully that will do. Hopefully that will do. Let's go and smell it real quick. Smells like tea, whiskey, and honey. What a surprise. That's literally exactly what it smells like. Well, I do suppose I should probably go and stick my finger in. I think it's all good. I think it's all good. I'll find out once I take a sip and have my tongue burned off if it's not good. But without further ado, let's go and take my first sip of my original mixed drink. That's correct. I am the original creator of this mixed drink, both literally and ideologically. Ideologically, I don't think that's really the right way of putting it. But I think it's time for me to go and take my first sip of my drink that I want today. That was made with hot tea, whiskey, and honey. Let's go and find out how it is. Yes, sir, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Okay. First sip, very mild, very mild. There's definitely a little bit of whiskey in there, definitely a little bit of honey in there, kind of thing, but really very mild. More of a tea flavor than not. I might have underestimated tea, I'll acknowledge. When I think of tea, I think of it as, this is gonna piss off tea people, but I think of it as leaf water. And coffee is bean water. It's not meant to be an insult, that's just kind of what it is, right? It doesn't have a super intense flavor. Like, tea does not generally have a super intense flavor. Like, it's there, but it's not like crazy intense like Coca-Cola or like Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or something like that kind of thing. But it's definitely a heavy enough flavor to work well. It's a bit warm though. I'm gonna let it cool off for another minute or so, I do think. And I'm gonna have one of these, I do think, because I want one. I've been wanting one all throughout this video, but I didn't want to have one until I took my first sip, so now I'm letting myself have one because I've taken, technically speaking, my first sip. I guess one could technically call this beverage the healthy version of a vodka Red Bull as well, because you're still getting your caffeine, but it has no Red Bull in it. It does have honey and whiskey still though, but yeah, big ball of moves, you know what I'm saying? Still very warm though, but yeah, really not bad at all. And I mean, like, taste-wise, just based off those first two sips, it really does come across like a tea version of a hot toddy. And I quite like hot toddies. I think they're pretty solid. Based off the first two sips, I don't know anything for sure. Based off the first two sips, I like this just as much as a hot toddy because it's literally just a hot toddy made with tea. So far, so good. So far, I'm enjoying it, but it's so hot that I can't really take a lot of sips right now. So whether I really truly like it or not is to be determined. No complaints on my behalf either way, I will acknowledge. No complaints on my behalf either way. While it's cooling down, I am going to grab myself another little bit of a thumbnail. Had to do it to him, you know what I'm saying? Had to do it to him. Gotta grab an extra just in case, just in case. That's pretty solid though. Like, it's nothing insane. It's nothing insane, but it's pretty solid though. Yeah, no. I think I could add a little bit more whiskey, a little bit more honey, and I think I might do that after I take my next sip, low key. Because I'm just not really getting much of a whiskey or honey taste. And I could go for a little bit more alcohol just in general. I just really didn't add that much whiskey to begin with. Yeah, no. Quite solid, if I do say so myself. I think I'm going to have another one after this one, though. I might make another one. And I might just add more whiskey to that one. And just drink this one as is. I'm saying that, but I haven't even drank the whole thing yet. And I don't know how big of a buzz it's going to get me. I get the feeling it might get me more buzz than I think. But overall, so far, whiskey, honey, and hot tea, not too bad by any means, and definitely a solid, like, refreshing, just, like, light drink on a cold day. Like, in my opinion, like, I love my whiskey hot chocolates, but they can be a bit heavy with all the sugar and stuff like that kind of thing. They can definitely be a bit heavy on the stomach. This, on the other hand, is definitely a little bit lighter, more in line with a hot toddy, which is, in my opinion, a very light, warm beverage. This is definitely a little bit lighter as well. And with the amount of whiskey and honey that I added, it really is just very mild. Like, I can tell there's whiskey in there, but it's so mild that it's not very noticeable. The honey, I added not a bad amount in there, in my opinion, but it's so mild that it's almost unnoticeable kind of thing. Like, it's in there, you can tell it's in there, but the main flavor really is that of the tea, frankly put. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all, if I do say so myself. Am I minding this original mixed drink that I made today, which is my original invention that nobody has ever done before, except definitely lots of people have done this before. I absolutely guarantee, one of my grandparents has probably done this before. One of my grandparents has more than likely made this drink before. And if it wasn't one of my grandparents, it's probably one of your grandparents. If not one of y'all yourselves. Oh man, my nose is starting to run just a little bit though. It is a bit chilly out here. I can definitely say though, I'm feeling a buzz. Not just from the tea though, because I am feeling both a caffeine and an alcohol, very slight alcohol buzz from the tea, but I'm also feeling a little bit of buzz from one of these as well. So I certainly cannot complain. This is overall a very solid experience that I am enjoying. I am enjoying this experience. Excuse me. No, genuinely, not bad at all. I think definitely, like, if I was going to make any changes to this drink, I'd probably add a little bit more whiskey, and I'd probably add more honey as well, and I think that's definitely what I'm going to do with the next drink. This is an experiment, so kind of just messing around, figuring out what the perfect amount is of everything. But I definitely think a little bit more whiskey, a little bit more honey, a little bit less tea is going to be the optimal. So I'm going to try to pour a little bit less tea into my cup for the next one. Or pour a little bit less hot water into my cup for the next one, I do think. But yeah, really, not bad at all. Not bad at all. This is a pretty solid drink. It's a drink I'm enjoying. And Yeah, I'm getting a buzz. I'm getting a buzz. This is definitely a light drink on the stomach. But it's getting me a buzz. It's getting me a buzz. Not anything crazy. It's like a 4.5% Stella Artosis or something like that kind of thing, but... And that's right, Stella Artosis. I'm pronouncing it Stella Artosis, and I will never not pronounce it Stella Artosis. People say Stella Artosis is a spinal disorder. I say Stella Artosis is a hard cider. Not even a beer, it's a hard cider. Yeah, no complaints. Genuinely, no complaints. No, this is really quite good. Flavor-wise, as I'm getting towards the bottom, the honey is becoming a little bit more prevalent. But flavor-wise, overall, it's very much that of a mildly sweet, savory, like lemon, honey, hot tea, Earl Grey flavor with a little bit of different honey underneath. And then there's just the slightest hint of a little bit of whiskey kind of thing. Not much, just a little bit, but it's there. It's there. And the whiskey is very much out of the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond flavor that I'm used to. It's very much out of a little bit of like caramel, a little bit of sort of sugar, like brown sugar, molasses kind of thing. And overall, just makes for a little bit of a sweetener for the drink kind of thing. Without much of an intense sort of alcohol-y flavor. Yeah, no, really not bad. Not bad. And I think I'm going to get myself another one going and some more water boiling in just a minute, high key. Ooh, excuse me. Definitely towards the bottom, though. I can definitely tell the whiskey's kind of sunk to the bottom. It definitely sunk to the bottom. That's all right, though. It ain't no biggie, and it ain't a terribly intense taste anyway. Let's go ahead and get this going again. And pour some more water in. I'm just going to use the rest of my water. Just like that. I do have a buzz going, though. This buzz is pretty solid. I'm enjoying it. I feel like I had a burp. Excuse me. I did have to burp. Let's finish off my drink. Got a little bit more left. I don't know if y'all can see it very well, but there's a little bit more left. And definitely towards the bottom, the honey becomes very prevalent. The honey definitely, and the honey and the whiskey definitely sunk to the bottom, but yeah, overall, a very solid, refreshing, light drink. Definitely a little bit heavier on the stomach than a hot toddy, in my opinion, just due to the addition of tea and caffeine. Because, of course, I'm not using decaf tea today. Not really one for decaf tea, honestly. I like my caffeine. But, yeah, overall, a lighter drink than a whiskey and hot chocolate, without a doubt. Just less sugar. And overall, just a very solid beverage as a whole. Yeah, not bad at all. Really. This is very solid. This is very solid. Surprise, like better than I thought it was going to be. I was kind of on the wall at the beginning of this video because I wasn't sure if the tea was going to do a very good job of covering the flavor of the whiskey, but it actually does. It does do quite a good job. I think it's definitely better with the honey. I think definitely the honey definitely makes a huge impact kind of thing. I think if there was no honey, this would not be nearly as good. But with the honey, this is solid. This is really solid, and this is a beverage I like. This is a beverage I do like, more so than not. Yeah, I got no complaints on my behalf. I got none on my behalf at all. No complaints. No complaints. I don't really need another. Like, I'm feeling all good, but I want another, so I'm gonna have another. Because why not, right? Why not? I might as well have another, I suppose. Just gonna let this do its thing, though. Let it boil again. Low key, I need to get me a kettle. Low key, I do. I've been drinking a lot of tea these days. I cut out drinking energy drinks and like soda and stuff like that kind of thing. Like I'll drink soda, like mixing it with alcohol, but like drinking soda straight, I've been trying to cut that out, but I've still been wanting like my caffeine and stuff. So I've just been drinking like straight black tea, generally like English breakfast tea, like every morning when I wake up, and just like whenever I want it, as long as it's like not too close to bed. But well, where was I going with that? I don't know. Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that I've been drinking a lot of tea these days. I'm buzzed. That first drink actually got me a surprisingly big buzz. Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty. That was actually that I probably poured in like like a shot's worth. That was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. I've got a nice buzz going. And I'm honestly feeling pretty warm right now. I don't honestly really need my beanie. I'll probably put it back on in like another minute, but kind of feel like I'm overheating right now, so I'm just gonna take off my beanie. What was I saying though? I can't remember. My hair is really flat. I need to pick up a kettle though, like an electric kettle. Just so I can like put it on, get it boiling, pour it in my cup, stuff like that kind of thing. I need to get me an electric kettle. I actually have kettles that can work on gas stoves, but they were all from the thrift shop. Like I found a Le Creuset kettle at the thrift shop, which was a banger find, but it's rusty on the inside. And I don't know how to fix that. How do I fix a rusty Le Creuset kettle? I have no idea. It looks really nice on the outside, and it was like $5, so it was totally worth it anyway, just to say I own a Le Creuset kettle, which I do. But I can't use it because it's rusty on the inside. I ain't gonna be drinking no rusty tea. That ain't happening. But yeah, I do have a kettle I could use on this besides just a pan. I'm just not willing to use the kettle. But I low-key do kind of want an electric kettle. Just because I've been microwaving my water and stuff like that kind of thing. I don't know, I just prefer to have a kettle, honestly. So I'm gonna have to look, see if I can get me like a cheapy, like $30 kettle or even cheaper than that. And what's the Zurishi of kettles? I really like my Zurishi rice maker. What's the Zurishi of kettles? Let me know in the comments down below. I have faith that y'all know a lot more about kettles than I do. I don't know anything about kettles, but I want a good kettle that will like last me a lifetime. That's what I want. So let me know what that is in the comments down below. I'm looking for kettle recommendations. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's lightly boiling right now. It's we're just waiting. It's not as cold as it was the last time I used this stove outside, so definitely the butane is working a little bit better. Just turn it down just a little bit. But I've just got it on full tilt. It's just going. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer, but I think it's about right. I'm just gonna give it a little bit longer though. Oh yeah, my one thing with kettles though, like plastic on the inside, I don't like plasticky tasting water. So if y'all know kettles that like don't give you a plastic taste, that's an especially banger recommendation. It's pretty close though. I'm just gonna give it a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna pour it in my mug right here. Make some space, go ahead and get my tea bag out. This, I gotta admit, this Republic of Tea Earl Grey is very solid. I really enjoy my Yorkshire tea as well. My Yorkshire tea. I find Yorkshire tea to be really nice. It's got a sort of woody taste to it. I really enjoy my Yorkshire tea, but I gotta admit, for Earl Grey, in specific as a varietal of tea, the Republic of Tea is my go-to these days. And while it is a bit more pricey than something like, let's say, Bigelow's or Twinnings or something like that kind of thing, which are the two most common brands in my local area, besides like Great Value Tea, it's not that much more expensive per tea bag. I think it's like 3 cents more expensive. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with it. And their British breakfast or English breakfast tea is very solid as well. I think that's about right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this off, and I'm gonna go and pour it into my mug. I'm gonna leave a little bit more room, throw in my tea bag. I didn't put quite as much water in this time. I still put a decent amount of water in, but not too much by any means. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go like that. And we're gonna wait 3 minutes. It's currently 6:16, and so I'm gonna wait until, well, it's 6:16 around about 30 seconds. So I'm gonna wait until 6:19 and 30 seconds. Something like that. So we got a little bit of time. No biggie, no biggie. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I was right, though. I was right, though. My head did get a little bit cold after taking my beanie off, but it's always good to kind of just rotate. Don't need my beanie on all the time. Just kind of take it on, take it off, as I feel comfortable. The buzz is already starting to dissipate a little bit. The buzz is already starting to dissipate just a little bit, though, so I'm glad I'm making myself another one. Yes, that makes 3 thumbnails taken for this video today. I gotta get the perfect thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? Thumbnails, they're a very important part of YouTube videos. So, you know, I gotta do it to them. I gotta do it to them. Now, this is a very solid drink, though. It's warm, it's light on the stomach, and it's just solid. It's just solid as a whole kind of thing. Damn. What do I got going on for the rest of today? Probably edit this video. I think I'll be editing this video after I finish drinking. I think I'll be eating dinner. And I think I'll be eating dinner. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. I know I got stuff to do, but it's not coming to mind as of this point in time. Yeah. What time is it? It is currently 6:18. We got about a minute left. Bet. No complaints on my behalf. No complaints on my behalf. Let's go and get my honey opened up. Just like that. And, yeah, I gotta admit, overall, very solid beverage. Very solid beverage. Yeah, it really is like a tea version of a hot toddy. That's really the best way of describing what this is, like the tea version of a hot toddy. There's really no better way to describe it than that. Tea version of a hot toddy, no question in my mind. Very solid, very good drink. I would absolutely have another one of these again. Would I much rather have it over a hot toddy? Honestly, yeah, probably. Honestly, I like this just as much as a hot toddy, but I can see myself drinking this beverage more than a hot toddy just because I already make myself tea so much. I don't really microwave water and then mix in lemon juice and stuff like that kind of thing. But just like the Earl Grey tea, like it's got that sort of like bergamot, which is like lemon honey. And so I don't even feel the need to add in like lemon juice to this. I think Earl Grey was definitely the right call. Like, I definitely think some teas would not work with this at all. Like, I don't think Darjeeling would. I think Yorkshire could work with this. But I don't think like British breakfast or English breakfast, whatever you want to call that, varietal, I don't think it would really work with this. It's just too much of a mild flavor. But Earl Grey with its more intense flavor, the little bit of lemon bergamot kind of thing, I do think it would really work quite well with this drink. And I think Earl Grey really is the best tea for this drink, in all honesty. So yeah, Earl Grey, honey, a little bit of whiskey. Solid. I got a very light buzz, not too much going on. It was kind of heavy for a second there. I think that definitely the caffeine and the alcohol definitely hit me really hard for a second there, but it's not so much anymore. But it is currently 6:20 and 30. Oh man, I've been steeping this for 4 minutes. My God, I can't believe me. I accidentally let it steep for a minute over. What am I doing? I'm trying to be a professional tea maker over here, a professional tea drinker, and I'm letting it steep for too long. I cannot believe me. Let's go and just do that real quick. And Go put that just on the paper towel I've got next to me. And let's go ahead and add in my whiskey first, then my honey. And as I said, I think I want to add a little bit more whiskey this time. I don't know exactly how much I added last time, but it was not a lot. Let's try to add in a little bit more this time. I think that's more. I'm pretty sure that's more. And I'm going to try adding in more honey this time as well. If it wants to work properly. The honey, you know, it's kind of more like a gelatin. We'll go with that much. That might have been a bit much, honey, honestly. That might have been a bit much, but hey, we ball, you know what I'm saying? We ball. We'll go with that. Bet. And mix it up. E. I used the E mug today because I was like, E. E is a meme that at the time, when it was a thing, like, what was that, like 2017, 2018? Bro, why am I talking like Unk right now? I'm like 2017, 2018. I don't even know if it was that long ago. It might have been like 2019, honestly. But I didn't really get it at the time, but the more I get it now. Like, I'm like, that's pretty, like, E. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like 6'7". It's like, yeah, that's pretty funny, honestly. Like, it's just no, like, it's meaningless. It's meaningless. It's pretty funny. Let's take a sip, see how it is. Way too hot. And I also think I added a little bit too much whiskey. I'm tasting a lot of whiskey. But we ball. I'm gonna let it cool. But yes, no, I chose the E mug because I chose the E mug because E. Because of the meme E. Yo, y'all ever heard of Ugandan knuckles? Y'all ever heard of Big Chungus? Y'all ever heard of Big Chungus? Big Chungus loves drinking whiskey and honey in his tea. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Big Chungus. Big Chungus. What are some other memes I can just reference right off the top of my head? 21. Damn, Daniel. Look at you back at it with the white Vans. I think that entire meme can be credited to... I think that entire meme can be credited to the rise of Vans. Because Vans were like the shoe to have for such a fat minute. Not that Vans aren't still good. They are. I like my Vans. I don't wear them a lot. They don't have enough support for my feet, in all honesty. But I used to wear them all the time before I cared about my feet having any level of support at all. But you know, Vans, I mean, like, they're good shoes, but I really do think that the whole damn Daniel back at it again with the white Vans can be attributed to so much of the success of Vans. Yo, bottom text. Top text, bottom text. Just put it on screen right now, editor. Top text, bottom text. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm buzzed. Yeah, it's solid. Still a bit warm. But solid nonetheless. My goodness, we've already been going for 44 minutes? Holy crap. Time has flown. I've been having a great time today. I can't believe this video is already going for as long as it has been. I got no complaints on my behalf. But I will acknowledge, when you're making a drink that requires boiling water and you're making that boiling raw water right then and there, the time, it just goes kind of thing, and that's just how it is. I got no complaints on my behalf. I haven't been tapped into memes in like a solid, well, I've been like looking at memes, but I haven't been tapped into like memes like I was years ago in like years. So I just honestly don't know a lot of the memes these days. Like 6'7" is just so prevalent. Like I know 6'7", but like a lot of the like semi-niche memes, I just don't know, honestly. Like I have no idea what looks maxing means. I have no clue at all. Like no idea. I don't get it. And just so much of the other stuff, I just have no idea what it means. And that's okay. I honestly don't want to know. And that's what I call becoming unk. Big ball of moves, you know what I'm saying. Maturing is realizing that I no longer care about the trendy meme. Maturing is realizing that I care about my alcohol and tobacco products. I do love my alcohol and tobacco products, not gonna lie, y'all. Yo, y'all ever heard of Ugandan knuckles? Honestly, banger meme though. Still a bit warm. Definitely with this second drink, the whiskey and the honey is a little bit more prevalent. I did add more whiskey and honey. I'm not sure which version, i.e. the first one with less whiskey and honey or the second one with more whiskey and honey. I'm not sure which one's to my personal preference so far, but I'm enjoying both. I don't mind either of them by any means. They're both very solid. It's getting dark though. I did start this video like 30 minutes before sunset, and now this video has been going for 47 minutes. Should I just make it a clean hour? Just go for an hour for the meme? It's tempting. I do like making my long videos, I will acknowledge. Now just chilling though. Just chilling, not too much going on. Just chilling, just vibing, having a good time. Pairing wise, Chungwas, American Spirit Blacks, Capstan Blue. Yeah. Virginia Blend stuff as a whole, I definitely think would be best pairing wise with this. I just feel that way about most teas in general though. I feel like most teas just work better with Virginia Blend products and whatnot, and I feel the same way about this mixed drink as well. But overall, I mean, like, I gotta admit, this is another hot drink to add to the lineup kind of thing. I mean, like, I really enjoy my hot toddies. I really enjoy my whiskey hot chocolates, both of which are very solid. I really like them both. But this is kind of like a good middle ground between, like, a hot toddy and a whiskey hot chocolate kind of thing. Like, you get a little bit of sugar, and I think you could absolutely add just a little bit of honey just for that flavor kind of thing. And you could add just some scoops of, like, sugar if you wanted to, like some brown sugar. I think would be really solid in this. I've never had like pure molasses. I don't know if you want to add that, but hey, maybe you could. Y'all ever heard about the molasses flood? I learned about that in a YouTube video like years ago, and I was like, a flood of molasses. That sounds dangerous, because then you'd get flooded with molasses. It's a real apparently there was a molasses flood, apparently. Unless the video I watched was fake news. Who knows? I don't think it was. I think the molasses flood was real. And no, I'm not talking about a flood in a city named Molasses. I'm talking about a literal flood of molasses as a substance. And not like a flood onto the market, like a literal physical flood. Which is kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. One of the things I find really interesting as well is like how like the British energy network was so dependent, or not dependent, but so it had so many fluctuations for getting tea during television shows. Like on an ad break, people would get up and go like put the kettle on. And so like literally like energy fluctuations would happen because so many people were putting the kettle on at one time. I'm not British. I'm not from the UK. But I do still find that to be very interesting kind of thing. Apparently it's less prevalent now because of streaming services, but still a thing to some extent, I suppose, probably. But very interesting, very interesting. This is definitely like a solid drink. Like, it's easy to make. It's only got 3 ingredients. And like, it's just a solid beverage as a whole. Like, I enjoy drinking my tea and I'm like, man, it would be kind of nice to like go on a hike and like chain smoke the entire time. And then you like get to the peak and you light up another one and you get some tea going and stuff like that kind of thing on like a really small portable like camping stove, like smaller than this. Like this is technically a camping stove, but it's not small. But like put a little bit of whiskey in that too and man, you're all good. You're all good. That's solid. Other alcohol I think could work in this drink. I think whiskey is really the optimal. Of course, different varietals of whiskey I think would work as well, kind of thing. I think really the key here, though, is that you want a high-quality whiskey. Don't use, like, bottom of the barrel. Because if you use bottom of the barrel whiskey, it's just not going to be good. But I think, like, a solid, like the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, it's not expensive by any means, but it's extremely good bang for your buck, in my personal opinion. And I think it definitely works very well in this. And I definitely think there's some whiskeys that wouldn't work. Something a little bit rougher, I think, wouldn't work. In my opinion, like, let's say the Four Roses small batch bourbon is a little bit rougher than the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. I don't know how well that would work. It's just also just got a different flavor profile. But I think a lighter sort of flavor profile with a more light sort of taste definitely works best. So I think, like, probably, like... Yeah, I don't know. There's no whiskeys coming to the top of my head right now. Mellow Corn could probably work pretty good. I think Mellow Corn wouldn't be bad at all in this, actually. I think some Japanese whiskeys, maybe some Scotch. Yeah. Irish whiskey? I've never had Irish whiskey before. I need to try it. Definitely, though, I can tell with this second one, the whiskey is a little bit more prevalent. The honey is a little bit more prevalent. You know, overall, very solid flavor. It's very much that of a... With this second one, at least, it's very much that of a Earl Grey tea, sort of lemon bergamot honey flavor with that sort of clover honey going on as well. And then under that, there's that whiskey kind of thing. But the whiskey really does dissipate into the flavor of the tea and honey very well. But I think with too strong of a flavor of whiskey would be too much. But, you know, the flavor of this is really good. Definitely with the first one. It was just a little bit lighter on the honey and whiskey as a whole, just because I added less. But this is very solid. This is a solid drink. Do I enjoy my whiskey and honey and hot teas? I do. What do I want to call this drink, though? I'm calling this a unique invention. There's probably already a name for this, but I'm going to call this a unique invention because I didn't do any research to figure out if this is a real drink before this video. I'm going to call this the Jones. Name it after myself, why not? This is the Jones, so, well, now we're going to have people saying they're drinking Jones. Well, at least now you can say, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses anymore. You just have to drink up with the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You just got to drink the Jones. No need to keep up with the Joneses. You just got to drink the Joneses. But yeah, I'm going to call this the Jones. And I will be filing a patent for it. So if any of y'all make this at home, I expect a royalty. I will be filing a patent. This is patent pending. Or it will be by the time this video goes up. I don't think I can really do that. I think I'd have to be using like my own type of alcohol. Because there's like, what is it, like a painkiller? You have to make that with, what is it, Goslings, I think? And like they've actually sued people for like selling painkillers that were not made with Goslings. And then there's another one that's kind of similar. Oh no, was it Dark and Stormy or was it Goslings? I can't, well, Dark and Stormy, I think that happened with both painkillers and Dark and Stormies, because Dark and Stormy has to be made with a specific, oh no, it's painkillers, pussers, Dark and Stormy is Goslings. That's what it is. And I know with Goslings, they actually did sue a bar in like New York for selling Dark and Stormies that weren't made with Goslings. And the issue wasn't that they were mixing ginger beer and rum. The issue was that they were actually just calling it a Dark and Stormy. I don't know if I could copyright it because Evan Williams bought on a bond. I don't own the brand. I don't own the company. But if y'all make this drink, I expect a royalty. And y'all might have been thinking I was joking about going for an hour. No, I was serious about that. We're going to over an hour. We're going to over an hour, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Solid drink, though. Yeah, I dub it the Jones. So this is the Jones. It's Earl Grey tea, honey, and whiskey. If you want to go specific, Republic of Tea, Earl Grey tea, Gunter's Pure Clover honey, and Evan Williams bought on a bond, but you don't have to be specific about it. Any drink like this made with Earl Grey tea in general and honey and whiskey is called a Jones now. I've officially dubbed it. I've officially named this drink. Dubbed it? Well, I guess dub is also the right way of putting it. When I think of dubs, though, I think of like anime dubs or like foreign film dubs and stuff like that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think that's really the wrong way of putting it. I'm gonna pour this out. My drink is still warm, though. It's solid. And really, yeah, no, the honey, the tea, the whiskey, it's all pretty good together. It's all pretty good together. Yeah, I genuinely do not mind this. I do not mind this one bit. This is a good drink. Of course, since I'm dubbing it the Jones, it's a 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10. Is there anything else I could add to this drink to make it even better, though? Maybe a little bit of lemon juice. I think maybe a little bit of lemon juice could be good. Maybe... Yeah, I think maybe just... the only thing I can really think of, like... I don't really think of, like... clove or cinnamon. I just don't really think it would work very well in this drink. But I think maybe the slightest bit of lemon juice, like just the tiniest amount, I think could make this slightly better. But overall, very solid drink just to begin with. Just as good as a hot toddy in my personal opinion. And just as good as a hot chocolate and whiskey. Or as a whiskey hot chocolate. Oh, very solid, very solid. I definitely enjoy this beverage that I made today. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be dubbing it the Jones. But I dub it the Jones. It is the Jones. And you have to drink it out of a cup with E on it. I will now be investing in stocks that make mugs with the word E on it, or with the letter E on it. I will now be investing my life savings in stocks for mug companies. Just because of this. I heard that the Moscow Mule, which I need to try. I haven't tried a Moscow Mule, but I need to try it. I heard that the Moscow Mule, it's like traditionally drank out of a, what is it, a copper mug? There's like a rumor that the dude who invented the Moscow Mule made it where you have to drink it to be called a real Moscow Mule. You have to drink out of a copper mug because he had like a lot of copper mugs and was trying to sell them. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea if that's true. It could be entirely fake news, just a complete rumor. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. A lot of alcohol sort of rumors and stuff like that kind of thing. That's just all they are. They're rumors kind of thing. A lot of it is just marketing, as with anything. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it was just that again. But that's what I've heard. So yeah, for the Jones, you have to drink it out of an E mug. E. I got a little bit of honey buildup at the very bottom, and yeah, really the last sip was just pure honey. But yeah, got a lot of honey buildup at the very bottom of my mug. Overall, though, solid beverage. Solid beverage. I enjoyed my second bev, much more so than not. I would definitely drink many whiskey, honey, and hot teas in the future. I would definitely drink many Joneses in the future. I say as my last name is Jones. Or is it? Is my last name actually Jones? I won't say. I won't say. What's my real name? Who knows? Who knows? On the internet, I'm Jacob Jones. And in real life, I'm LeBron James, baby. Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? But, is my real name what I say it is? Who knows? I won't say. I don't want to reveal my real name. There's something back there crawling around. I don't know what it is. I think it's in the neighbor's yard. It's a cat. I just heard it meow. Don't clip that. Well, that's all I had to this. And that's all there was to this experience as a whole. Overall, did I enjoy this experience where I drank my first ever whiskey, honey, and hot tea? I enjoyed this experience, and I'm buzzed. I think with the second drink, I honestly could have added more whiskey. But I got a buzz either way. I'm feeling good. I enjoyed myself. I had a great time. And I got no complaints on my behalf. Is the drink I had today a solid beverage? Yeah. No, absolutely. I would totally drink another again in the future. Absolutely, I would drink another again in the future. And I genuinely have no complaints on my behalf. I really enjoyed this beverage, and I really enjoyed this beverage. This is a good beverage. Yeah, whiskey, honey, and hot tea. Specifically, Earl Grey. Very solid. Very nice flavor. Really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. And I got no complaints on my behalf. I had a great time today. Yeah. Overall, solid beverage that I enjoyed having. I drink many more again in the future. And I think that's just about all I had to say. So I think that's going to be the video right here. Yeah. Anything else I wanted to mention? No, I don't think so. I got a nice buzz going. The sugar, the caffeine, the alcohol, it's definitely all mixing together. I'm enjoying myself. And I hope you all enjoyed watching this video today. If you guys did, like, subscribe, of course. Check out everything in the description down below. And yeah. Until the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace, and have a great one.